Caesar, I see you. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. we be
How's too
playing.
slow?
We be clowning around in the back. We just see each other all dancing to the music. Caesar's like this.
I got the moves, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
I see you getting jiggy with it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. If you guys just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. Caesar, you want to read the clarity statement for us?
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
The Hope Shot Clarity Statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common. Recovery is a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. And thank you for being a part of our Hope Shot family.
Thank you, Caesar. All right, so we got Allie up in YouTube land. What's up, Allie? Good to see you. And I guess it's a little slow today, but yeah, we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna Nate is gonna bring the topic tonight, and I'm gonna pass it off to him and let him explain the topic.
Oh, just like that, huh?
Just like that, bro. Right out the gate. Let's go.
Yeah. So I was listening to every morning as part of my morning routine. I listen to when I'm getting situated, doing my gratitude list, and starting my day. I listen to talks from Insight Timer, and I was listening to this one talk a couple mornings ago, and it was called "Are We Trying to Practice Ourselves Perfect?" And as I listened to it, I realized like the amount of pressure I put on myself for, and it's ironic because a couple talks later, the same speaker talked about holding ourselves to a higher standard, which I really try to do today, but sometimes to a fault. And under the, as far as practicing yourself perfect, like when I first got into recovery, it was, as many meetings as I can make, and as as many commitments I could take, as many people I could help, and God forbid, like I wasn't able to help somebody or reach somebody, or if I fall short, if I life gets messy and I make some poor decisions, I find myself like my worst and harshest critic, like just really like raking myself over the coals for being human, and there's what she was talking about in this meditation was like there's no amount of like meditation, prayer, self-care, classes, therapy, nothing can replace action. You know what I mean? If I could do all those things to like, until I'm, blue in the face, I could meditate all day, I could pray all day, but if I'm not, backing it up with action and getting busy and implementing what I'm learning, then what's the point? And not only that, I love the point she made. She says like a lot of these, these arenas of self-care and self-improvement, they're like hammering the human out of you, and, I have to remember that, that saying that says, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, I have to remember like the human parts of me, that I can get angry and not feel like I'm not doing it right. I can, be sad. I can, be stressed out. And for me, like early on, when I would feel these things, I would feel like I wasn't doing it right. I was doing something wrong. I felt as if, I had to maybe sponsor some more people, or I had to hit some more meetings, or I had to get closer to God, or whatever the case might be. I felt like it was, things going wrong, or me feeling, these very natural human emotions, like it was, something that reflected poorly on my path and where I was in my recovery. And I think it's it's the exact opposite. One of the greatest, tools that I've discovered in this last really like couple years, has been, you know, the space to make mistakes, the space to be wrong, the space to not get it right, and what better opportunities to practice these principles, like I can accept responsibility, I can make amends, I can practice humility in my gratitude list today, I said I was grateful for my shortcomings and my defects because it allows me to practice humility. It allows me to remain teachable. Like I have this perpetual space created from the human experience where I'm able to keep improving and to keep seeking and to keep learning. And it's super important, especially for a guy that struggles with self-worth and self-esteem and thinking that I am not enough or I am apart from instead of a part of, to give myself a break and to really search and discover what grace means. I believe that in every we don't make mistakes, we learn lessons, and that it's just like when we make that little shift towards something different when we get sober for the first time or whenever. It's the same shifts keep on happening in the evolution of my recovery, and lately I've been trying to shift towards you know embracing the idea of not having to be perfect, not having to get everything right, and just being and just showing up consistently, and to keep, getting closer to my purpose, to who I am. And I believe that and to change my perspective on what I used to think, because I'm used to making mistakes. That's all I ever like. That's all I felt like I ever did, for the longest. And what I understand now that I couldn't understand then is they were all lessons. They were all opportunities for me to learn, to grow, and to become better. A better human being, a better friend, um, a better business owner, um, all around the board. It's yeah, I think it's a dangerous territory to think we always have to be on point and get it right. And I we all struggle. Everybody on this screen still struggles. We're just because we have some years of recovery doesn't make us any less human. I say it time and time again. It's the only difference between when I first came in here and now is that I have a solution and I stay in the crazy a little bit shorter than I used to in the past. And that's like pretty much the only difference between someone that has some years or some days. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about that tonight.
I was just having a conversation with somebody earlier, and we're talking about the shorter of getting to the solution, right? It's like staying in the funk, right? Okay, so here's my example. And this is how I know I'm growing, right? Because you have these examples throughout, and it always reminds me that I am growing. So the other morning I wake up, right? I about to go to work, and I always have a routine, right? That routine is like it's in stone of what I need to do in order to make sure I have a good day, right?
Yeah,
So
it has to be perfect.
has to be perfect. So I get up, I go make my coffee, I go sit down, I have my meditation, right? I have a couple sips of coffee and I listen to a talk and then do whatever. Man, so I go make the coffee, no creamer. There's an empty jug in the fridge. I'm like,
Look at Caesar.
so yeah. So I go I go and there's this other stuff like the backup, but it really isn't backup, right? It's the stuff that nobody really likes because we tried it and it was like, meh. and it was this white chocolate raspberry stuff, and it was disgusting. And I'm pissed off, right? And old Justin would be like, want to tell people and tell her about the creamer she should have got. And I'm like, and you know what? I let it be. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Wawa and I'm going to get me some damn coffee and I'm not going to let it ruin my day. Before old Justin will hold on to that resentment for 3 days or maybe longer. Okay. All I'm saying is it's getting shorter, people. It's getting shorter.
That's the most grown-up thing I've ever heard. I don't know if I could have let go of that with the creamer.
It was hard, man.
I don't know.
So hard.
That would have gone sideways on me quick.
Yeah, but I just had this conversation earlier about the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have to say it is the thing. What does it accomplish? Except make the whole situation worse. But I'm like, I got to tell somebody about this creamer incident. This is going on around here.
I need somebody
Honey,
to
come here. Did you know there was no creamer in here?
Yeah.
And I'm in that case, because I've got to get, like, of course you didn't know there was no creamer, or there would have been creamer.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, there it is. Let me put that up there. There's no way Caesar would have let that go.
It was hard. Listen, I'm telling you, man, because that's like I'm that guy too. Like the creamer thing and like coffee and like, but man, like
but we're creatures of habit. Nate too. I'm gonna throw you in there too. We're creatures of habit. We do the same thing every morning. We do the same thing every night. If you're like Nate and I, we've got some serious being institutionalized stuff in there too, where how we put our stuff and where we put our stuff and all of that, and I come into this deal with no knowledge whatsoever of what it takes to live sober, to live a life of recovery. The only tools I have is what served me well in institutions and on the streets, which don't help me at all trying to be a productive, good person living sober. And I've got this fire under my ass. I tried everything that I could try to get this thing on my own. Now I've had to do the one thing I never wanted to do, ask somebody for help. And then I don't get to tell that person what the help looks like. I just have to accept it and do what I'm told. Well, what turns out is, Nate, you said all the mistakes we made in the past. I won't even call mine mistakes. The decisions that I made in the past, because I knew what I was doing. I mean, I was driven by the need and the want to not be sick and to not feel the way I was feeling. But nonetheless, I made those decisions. And every time I made them, I knew what the consequences were. I knew what could happen. And I knew what was going to happen. Today, I start living this life, this recovery lifestyle, and I went from this complete train wreck to, man, now I got to be perfect at everything I do in my mind. I don't want to make a mistake, and I don't like the way it feels when I make a mistake. And my wife laughs sometimes, like I'll go just so ridiculously above and beyond with crap that I do. And she's like, what are you even doing? And I'm just like, well, it's just the right way to be, And she's like, how do you go from being like a multiple convicted felon that followed no rules to being like the park ranger that follows every rule? You won't step on the grass if there's a sign that says don't step on the grass. You'll literally go all the way around to the sidewalk. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, but that's how I am. I'm all or nothing. It's if I'm not going to follow some of the rules, I'm not going to follow any of the rules typically. And if I'm going to follow any rules, I'm going to follow all the rules. So my all or nothing thinking gets me into the perfectionism stuff. And I don't allow myself any grace when I make a mistake. Everyone around me can make a mistake and it's okay. They're only human. People do it. It's okay, buddy. Don't worry about it. I make a mistake and I'll kick my own ass for 3 or 4 days in my mind. And those aren't decisions that I'm talking about. Those are mistakes. I forgot something because I've got so much on my plate. I forgot something. I put the wrong date down and I missed something because I have so much jumbled up in my head. I missed something for a friend of mine recently, and I swore it was on Sunday. I told my wife it was on Sunday. We can't forget about it. It was on Saturday. It wasn't on Sunday. But I'm in the middle of moving my entire house and family to a new house, and we just got off vacation and go right into moving out of the house mode. And the first thing out of my mouth to my friend was like, you know what? I am a shitty friend. I'm so sorry. And she was like, what the hell are you even talking about? You're not a shitty friend. And I was like, yeah, man, I screwed this up big time. I'm a shitty friend. And she's like, and then she had to repeat to me what I already knew, what my situation is. My whole life is packed up in boxes. And, we just took the kids on this vacation and came right back into this situation because the vacation was planned before the move was planned, and we couldn't back out of it. But I go all or nothing. I go right into, man, I'm the worst friend ever, this and that. And, I need guys like you, and I need my friends that'll reel me back in and be like, that's ridiculous, man. Give yourself some grace. And, what was the name of the talk, Nate?
Are we practicing ourselves perfect?
I waste more time trying to avoid a mistake than I care to admit. Double checking, micromanaging, and it probably is eating away the joys that I could have of just making a decision, going with it, and accepting it. I go through all these extra steps to make sure that I don't make a mistake. So the fact that I go through all those steps, and when I do make the mistake, it's like, holy shit, man, it's like the end of the world. But then again, is it really compared to what I used to be? Like, I'm talking about forgetting to go to somebody's party. I'm not talking about forgetting to go to court like I used to. Like, oops, there goes my freedom. Now it's like, oops, I better send a present to their house. Like it's not that big a deal, but in my mind, it still is. It's still like a huge deal. And I'm self-deprecating between my two ears, and I shouldn't be. And it's definitely something I got to work on.
Yeah, and I think that's like stuff we carry over. That's absolutely like, because in the deep, crannies and recesses of my psyche, there's still that piece of me that believes I am the things that my mind like tells me. And when those situations like you were explaining,
they're just proving it right.
Yeah, I told you.
I told you I was a piece of shit. You see?
Yeah. That's why I went back to CVS and paid for the plates, bro. Remember, we were on vacation, and I accidentally stacked too many paper plates, and I only rang one up, and that shit was eating at me for like 2 days. And finally, the day I left, I went there, and I'm like, hey, by the way, ladies, I got these 2 things of paper plates for free. She's like, what? She's like, I'm like, I want to pay for them. She's like, really? I'm like, actually, yes, I do.
Yeah, I can't sleep. Please take my money.
Yeah, I was Caesar, you were saying that everybody else can make mistakes, but you can't. See, that is not in my world. Ain't nobody gonna get by. Ain't nobody. Even worse, because I hold myself to such a high standard. And I think that's, Nate, you sent me both those, and I even said it on the next one, holding yourself to a high standard. Like, so unrealistic of a standard. Now everybody else around me has to live by that standard too. And
I do it to the people under my own roof. That's it. I don't do it outside of this house, and I shouldn't do it in this house at all. Because I stir some shit up with that too. Why didn't you do it this way? You know the right way to do it. Why'd you do it that way? Like, nobody wants to be talked to like that.
Yeah, but that's where like anybody that, because I hold myself to a high standard and my expectations are really high, and when I don't, like, I literally beat myself down. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, I will point out everybody else's flaws more than I will point out mine, because I don't want to point out my own. You know what I mean? Like, I will point out other people's flaws way faster.
You're kicking your ass internally. You don't even need to bring it external.
No, but it's true, man. It's like, And that's where, like, you know, like practicing ourselves perfect is never going to happen, man. We're human. We're allowed to make mistakes. And if we didn't make mistakes, we'd be robots. We'd be bored. You know, that's another thing that, because I listened to that thing before we,
If we
you know,
were perfect, we wouldn't need this podcast. We wouldn't need God. We wouldn't need anything.
Yeah.
We definitely wouldn't need to be in recovery because we'd be perfect. So, I mean, my old sponsor used to say, you know, we strive for perfection, but we also know we're never going to get there. That's what we strive for. But, you know, in my world, only God is perfect.
Well, I'll tell you this, though, man. Like when I'm doing anything, videos or anything, I will literally scratch the whole thing and start over or not post it at all. And I have so many videos that I've done where I screw up once and I won't post it. Because I don't want anybody else to find out I'm not perfect too. Like literally.
Yeah, they're finding out right now.
Yeah. And I'm like, just post the damn thing. Who cares, man? It's like, oh, but I look funny that way. Or that. I said my word, like the other day, okay, I posted a video and it was like the word I said didn't sound correctly. I almost scratched the whole thing. But I was like, you know what? Just freaking post it and stop, you know? And it's so true. Like I literally would scratch whole projects because I did one thing wrong or I you know, didn't say the right things, or it's tiring. It is so tiring.
And you know, and what beautiful freedom it is to be able to be authentically yourself, right? And to be able to make mistakes, not show up the way you wanted to, or get something wrong, miss a birthday, miss whatever. And what beauty and freedom this process gives us is the ability to take responsibility, to own our mistakes, and to not beat ourselves up over it. You know, I swear it's getting a little better for me. You know what I mean? Like I get better at it almost every day. But I just love that freedom, right? And the freedom comes from first and foremost having an accountability with my source, who I believe in, but also the accountability that I have amongst my friends and fellowship, you know, like, and that to be able to like have that space to come into that space completely vulnerable and be like, bro, this is what I did. This is what happened, knowing that not only are they going to relate, but they are going to not judge you. They're probably, you know, I've been there, you know, they're going to say I've done that too. Or, you know, even better, they're going to tell you, yeah, you're an asshole, or yeah, you messed up. You know, that's the type of friends I need in my life today. I don't need somebody to co-sign my bullshit, man. I had those types of friends my whole life. I need somebody that's going to hold me accountable and hold me to a higher standard and be like, Nate, you're better than that. Or Nate, this is not serving you. And having the humility and the willingness to accept that truth, and to not only accept it, but to listen to it and take the advice instead of, you know, it falling on deaf ears.
I've been put out Kramer, and I was then out of patience, love, and understanding real quick.
Real quick. That up there, Christina. Yeah, I'm with you. You know what? We can read some comments, but I want to go back to talking about the expectations thing. Don't let me forget, but hit some comments.
I'll hit some comments. All right,
hit
him with the whoa. We're gonna do Rudolph says, what's up, Hope Shot? In the 7th month of sobriety now, I've experienced a lot of what Nate is referring to. In some areas of recovery, they talk about this as the mask, the facade of everything is great, everything is awesome, and the urge to put on a front like everything has to be awesome all the time. Some days are worse than others, but even in this short time, I've come to realize that this thought pattern does not start to change and get better.
Does start to change.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Wording is everything. That's it. Scratch the project. I'm done.
We're going to delete the whole show.
The whole show. Gotta go, guys. You didn't see that. We got Ruth House in the house. Ruth House in the house. There we go. Amen. We are not made to be perfect. Love this topic, Nate. Great job. Let's see. We got Kyle says my wife is the same thing when it comes to coffee. There's good coffee, and then there's her coffee.
And then there's my coffee.
And then there's Caesar's coffee. This is important business here.
Very important. And Rudolph said, just fix it in post, bro. Yeah, I can, but that's not the point. That's not the point, Rudolph. We got James says, I literally just shared about this at Serenity on Sunday meeting, how my unrealistic expectations of myself ultimately send me into bouts of self-inflicted depression and the constant mental battle to balance staying grateful for where I'm at compared to where I'd be without my God and the NA program.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. It's like beating ourselves up because we put such high standards on ourselves. And then we go in these depressions. And then we're like, I'm not like them, or they got better recovery than me. And it's just, man, they're going through, we're not them. So they're going through their own battle just like us. We're all going through it. It's just at different times, and then we help the other person come out of theirs, and just like vice versa, And we got Debbie says, I find it hard. I have ADHD and PTSD and realize how hard it's to do normal things. How do I surrender to God?
Well, I don't have the first one, but I have the second one, and probably some other clinical ailments that I haven't been diagnosed with. But for me, it's a lot like meditation. There's no wrong way. You just do it. And it's, I feel like that everybody, like for me, when I get closest to my source, it's just a matter of doing it. I just say the words, I do the actions, and I back up, the words with action. That's basically it's just a choice, but it's not like a one-time choice. It's I have to keep surrendering on a daily basis, sometimes several times a day.
So I will say that I have the first one, probably not the second one. So me and Nate together make it.
Yes.
But it's just a practice, every day, to like that quieting. Like I have some attention deficit, like crazy sometimes, and but it's just, you got to keep practicing every day, And
the beautiful thing about a relation, like my relationship with my higher power, I don't even, it already knows if I surrendered or not. I don't even have to say it. It's if I make a conscious decision and like set my intentions inside to surrender something, I immediately attract, whatever it is, whatever decision, however I'm feeling inside, whatever I think of myself or whatever I want, I will attract that very thing externally.
Yep. I literally been listening to that for the last 25 days.
Yes.
What's up, Lynn? Hey guys, great to see you, and great topic.
Hi, Lynn. Love you.
We got Ashley says, hey guys, I just had a guy to ask me to sponsor him, and I said no because I'm moving in a couple months. Did I do the right thing? Caesar?
I mean, to thine own self be true. I mean, if you don't feel like you can do that person an honest service over the next couple of months, then you did the right thing. If you think in a couple of months you could have moved that guy along and got him on some better footing before you left, then maybe call him back. I mean, we can't answer that. It's on your heart. It's, do you think you could have served him well over the next few months or not? And if the answer is no, I don't think I could because I'll be checked out, getting ready to move, then you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay.
Expectations.
Yeah.
I want to get back into it before I forget. Jamie was talking about the unrealistic expectations of herself. I have that. My issue is I place those same unrealistic expectations on everybody around me. We talk about it sometimes about I expect me out of everybody else. I expect you to care about the things that I care about. I expect you to notice the way I put my stuff away every single day in its proper place. And I feel like you should do the same thing. And then when you can't find your stuff, I'm going to point out that if you'd just put your stuff away the way I put my stuff away, then you'd find it right now. So but I do that and I set myself up for disappointment on a daily basis with everyone, with the people at my job. I expect them to want to work at it as hard as I work at it. I expect them to care about the things I care about over there. Some people are just trying to show up and get a paycheck and go through their day and not go above and beyond, but not go below. Just do their job and go home. And that's okay. I do it to myself where I place these unrealistic expectations on the people around me, and I end up putting myself in a cycle of disappointment over and over and over. And it can really throw me for a loop where I feel like I'm just getting shit on all day. But the sad part is I'm shitting on myself by placing these expectations on people. And that's something I've struggled with probably for the past 5 years. Like trying to find the balance between, I don't know, like hoping for the best out of people instead of expecting the best out of them, and not getting so disappointed when normal life stuff happens, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like I'm the type of person that I will go to work no matter what. Like literally, no matter, you have to tell me or make me not come in. I could have freaking COVID and 2 broken legs, and I'm going to show up because I treat every job like it was my own business. Like I care, and I don't know why I'm built that way, but I care. I care about where I work. I have a lot of respect for the people that put the money in my pocket that helps me support my family. But then I place that on the other people at the job, and they're like, "Bro, I'm trying to hit these nails into this roof and go home. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You want me to stay late and do what? I'm not doing that, But I'm like, what do you mean, man? We got to do it. Like, no, we don't. Caesar, you can do it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. 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 And that's another thing is like when people don't meet up to those expectations, then the resentments build. And then who's the only one that's angry? I am. And nobody knows it either.
And nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
All in my head, me feeling sorry for myself for some unrealistic crap that I expected.
Yeah. And I'm going to sit here in my shit just like that creamer crap. I'll sit for 3 days. She knows I'm fucking pissed. She knows there was no creamer when there was no creamer. All right. I ain't got to explain myself.
She'll know because I'm going to be so quiet for the rest of the day. I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. And then they don't notice that you're being quiet all day. Like that was some kind of like bold display of my anger.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like the expectation thing can get real tricky. And so I think you explained it perfectly, Caesar. Just, expectations in general and how they can set us up for disappointment, because, life is happening that outside of externally, outside of us, and what is going on with what's outside of us has absolutely nothing to do with us. Everybody is on their own trajectory, their own journey, driven by their own fears, their own insecurities, their own ambitions, what have you. So like, how do you make that shift to where you're not placing that? And for me, how I've done it is like how I've improved, and not allowed, external circumstance to dictate my emotions or my day or, to, kind of drive the car is for me is that constant contact with my higher power, with my source, like that is why all of us on this screen engage in gratitude in the morning, do meditation, call each other all day, do inventory at night, work with others, because I feel the closer I am to my source, to my purpose, I have better vision. I'm able to see clearly what is in front of me, and how I see things, how that's changed through the years is instead of seeing somebody that's in my way or not doing what I want or upsetting me, I immediately see two things. I see either someone that's suffering or I see someone that needs help, you know, and that I don't know when this shift happened, but I do know how well I'm seeing those things is a direct reflection of my connection to my source.
Dude,
You know?
you're 100%. It took me talking about this just now and kind of hearing what I was saying and you responding to it. Literally, it's right out of our literature about running the show.
Yeah.
If only everybody would do as they were told. If only everybody would act, you know, do as I wished. And that's what it is I'm imposing my will, or at least mentally wishing my will would be the way. And it's lack of faith in its self-will that that I keep running my head into on a daily basis.
Yeah. And
Look at that. We just figured some shit out right here.
Yeah. And I believe, man, like the more in tune, the more aligned I am with my faith, my purpose, my people, you know, and, you know, helping others is the more I'm engaged in those things and out of self, you know, I'm more connected. And in that space, I like have these, you know, different lenses on, man. I'm able to see the forest for the trees. I'm able to see that when someone's in traffic and not doing what I want them to do, that maybe their family member just passed. Or, you know, when see an angry lady at the grocery store, I'm like, man, I wonder what she went through. You know, it's just that little shift in perspective to see, to put your, because you know what I wish for so many years? I would long for somebody just to understand the shoes I was walking in, just to get for 1 minute how twisted and dark and tormented and haunted I was. Maybe then they would understand why I do what I do. You know, I begged God for that, you know, whatever I thought that was at the time. I just wanted someone to get me and to know what I was going through. And it's funny because today I'm able to do that with others because of all that stuff I went through, you know. I can
seek to understand then rather than be understood these days. That's
man.
right out of the prayer.
Yeah.
It's a huge turnaround. You know, we talk about our struggles openly on here. You know, I don't walk around all day going, oh man, my expectations are getting in my way today. You know, like this is all subconscious stuff that happens throughout the day. But really, when I'm leaning into faith, I'm practicing acceptance at the same time by practicing that faith. You know, and if I have faith, I accept the fact that everything out here that's going on is exactly the way it's supposed to be at this very moment, because there's somebody in charge that's not me. So when I'm going, man, this is wrong and that's wrong, I'm basically saying that God's world is all wrong and it would be better if it was my way. And when I put it that way, like, man, talk about a chunk of ego to hear that out loud. But that's the beautiful part, you know. Helen commented up here that the expectations come with too much pain. When the pain gets great enough, you stop expecting. And it's true. You know, when I get sick and tired of being disappointed, you know, I end that cycle of expectations, and I'll be a lot more easygoing for a little while, but then it kicks back up again.
Yeah.
And it's something that I fight with all the time. I want you to care about what I care about. I want you to see things my way, you know, but that's me trying to run the show again.
Right.
And if I keep it within my hula hoop of what I actually do control, which is only my thoughts and actions and really nothing else, I'm a lot happier.
Yeah.
I can control my effort. I can put out all the effort I want, but I have to leave the outcomes to my higher power. You know, that's at the end of the day, that's it. You know, Justin, you can make 400 videos and then you could take the most perfect one. But once you hit post, that's it. The control's over. The reactions and likes and all of that is completely out of your control. And that's how I'm looking at my life right now is You know, I'm only in charge of my output, and that's it. You feel me, dog? You're
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little lost right now.
yeah, dog.
I saw it, dude. I thought you were gearing up for some, a monologue or something, and
No,
we lost.
I
yeah,
thought you were reading something.
I was kind of. No, I had a little incident with Facebook, but it's always trying my patience.
If only it would do what we wanted.
But okay, so Nate, you were talking about the people that they're on their own journey, doing their own path, and all this. So I was talking earlier as well, man. I was sitting with a sponsee, and we're going over step work, and like, dude, this is my first go around with stuff, and I'm pretty excited about it. But so we're sitting there talking about like like knowing your emotions, man, and how you respond to the world around you, and like everybody else is doing the exact same shit at the same time. They're trying to discover the emotions. Some people don't even know how that even looks. Luckily, we're on this path and journey of self-awareness. And I was talking to him earlier. I have this lady that goes to the meetings with us, and she's an HR person, and she tells us that we're the most self-aware people she's ever met. Okay. And that's a compliment, because like, how the hell are you ever going to change if you're not self-aware of how you do things? Because honestly, we're all in this autopilot freaking, destination, freaking wherever. We're in autopilot. Our subconscious is on the move, right? And we're doing these things subconsciously throughout our whole existence. And like, until we actually put a freaking stick in the spokes of that bicycle, the subconscious mind, ain't nothing ever going to change.
Right.
So we have to understand that people are doing the exact same shit. And if we can help people get to their own realization of their self-awareness to where they can change too, that's where it happens. That's where the magic happens. If not, we're all just going to run around here together throwing tantrums. That's what I call them. Because I'm that guy, you know what I mean? Like, I could have thrown a tantrum about the damn creamer. Would it have solved anything? Fuck no. There'd still be no creamer. You know what I mean? I'd still have to go to Wawa and get damn creamer. But I stopped it in its tracks. And that's what it takes.
That's growth.
It's growth. It's just those little things. Because I am just the only emotions that I talk about all the time, because the only emotions I've ever tried to or known about was the negative ones. But if we actually understood them and like tried to like consciously get them under control, they could work for good. Like, why am I feeling like this, and recognizing it, and then just be like, all right, I'm feeling this way, but I don't need to let it ruin the whole fucking day, because it was already a hard week, right? I don't need to make it worse by a creamer incident. You know what I mean? Go to Wawa, get your damn coffee, and guess what? That fucking Wawa coffee was damn good.
Hey, and also
a little bit better,
And what's cool, what I've discovered, a couple things that from just this last conversation we just had, it was the one thing is that something you just said, Justin, how, and I know where you were going with this, to change the way we look at emotions in general, like, like that thinking that anger or stress or
anxiety
fear is the end all be all. It's the world is collapsing. These are signposts in order for us to be aware and to make shifts and to see when these things arise, and to be able to use them as tools instead of like, have them be detrimental in our life. I know when I'm experiencing anger today that I have to look at parts. I have to look at myself. I have to, get busy, and that I need those things, because guess what? I know that pain was the greatest motivator for me to get into recovery. I was tired of hurting, right? But when do we stop using the excuse that pain has to be the only teacher? For me, I am trying to get to a place where I can heed advice, where I can feel these angers, feel these emotions, be stressed out, see them for what they are, make the proper adjustments, and get busy and change. You know, I don't want to live forever where I have to be in immense amount of pain to change how I am. I want to be able to, you know, be self-aware enough, be connected to my source enough, be plugged in enough, and have enough people around me holding me accountable in order to enact change before I'm fucking hurting. I've hurt enough already. You know what I mean? I want to be able to, read the signpost, get angry and be like, okay, what is this? Why am I getting angry? And almost 99% of the time, if I'm angry, if I'm fearful, it's something that I can't get, something I don't have, or something I'm going to lose. And it all starts with me. You know what I mean? Like, it all has to do with me, has little to do with anything that's going on outside of me, and everything to do with what's going on inside of me.
Or the other one of those is the other people's opinion. You can throw that one on the pile.
That's a biggie. That's a big one.
I'm going to lose something.
How they will look at me.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose something I have. I'm not gonna get something I want, or other people's opinion. Those are the three big fears that usually drive this kind of behavior. You mind if I put one of these comments up here?
Sure. No.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
That wasn't the right one, Caesar. That wasn't the right one. God dang it.
Too bad. Lindsay said, I get frustrated with myself because I still want the instant gratification at times if I'm not accepting where I'm at. I am still dealing with the wreckage of my past, not financially where I want to be, and I get down on myself when I should be grateful. One of my defects is being envious of what others have. But I have to realize, hey, that person has 5 years clean. If I keep doing the work, I can be there too when the time comes. And
we just talked about that last week.
You just posted the thing. They're lucky. They're so lucky.
Yeah.
Work their ass off.
Yeah. I don't want you to feel weird, because that's everybody.
Yeah, I feel like that 5 years. So.
Yeah, we all want 5 years at 1 year. We all want $1 million in our bank account. At 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever it is. We always want something we don't have, and we love instant gratification. That's why we did a bunch of drugs, because drugs were instant gratification. Real life isn't instant gratification. But it's okay. You get frustrated with yourself, but you're recognizing it. You recognize the fact that, shit, I'm comparing myself with somebody that's further in front of me. Justin and I, we used to talk about it. We look at these business owners that have all this money and all this stuff, and we're like, man, we're working hard. Bro, those people have owned their businesses for 20 years. And spoiler, they didn't have the past that we have. They didn't start over at middle age, and we're comparing these beautiful lives that we have built to somebody that comparison is just going to make me feel like shit, and it makes no sense, and it spoils all the gratitude that I should have. Yep. Now, when I make a proper comparison, then I'm grateful. Hey, where was I when I walked into the door of this thing? Oh shit, I'm a long way away from that. God is good.
And that's the thing. It's like, never forget where you're from, like where you come from. And we can get complacent real quick with that, because like me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, man, I couldn't even get a freaking house to rent. I couldn't get a credit card. I couldn't get a bank account for my business.
I got denied for a prepaid credit card. I was like, if it's my money that I'm giving you and I'm spending my money, how can you turn me down for it? They're like, it sounds too risky.
Yeah. It's just,
we don't want you to spend your own money with our name on it.
And now it's like, and I look at it and I'm like, damn, dude, you know what? I am grateful for where I started, because we still have to start somewhere, and where we get to, and it's not even over yet. Like, it's no end game, like there's no end game. It's the journey. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. And that's so true, because I can get twisted real quick trying to get somewhere where it's unrealistic expectations of where it is, or how fast I can get there. instead of enjoying this beautiful process that I'm on, I could be up here fantasizing about what it looks like or what it coulda, shoulda, wouldas. You know, I was just having that conversation earlier because I was doing over step one, you know, powerless, you know, and it shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you know, we can get caught in fantasy land of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you know?
Yeah, and also, like what's been super important, you know, on my journey is to redefine my idea of success, you know, and because for me coming into this deal, I wanted, you know, success to me was, you know, having a car, having a license, having a home, having a job, you know, all this stuff. And what's happened as the years go by is I shift my focus onto getting closer to my fellows, getting closer to my source, finding out the best possible way to be of maximum service to others. And what happens is all of these things that I thought were important come to me organically. And maybe they aren't exactly what I want them to be at the time, but they're exactly what I need. And I'm getting them exactly when I'm ready to have them. You know, like I couldn't have the stuff I have today. I was in no way ready to deal with the stress and the you know the responsibility of that when I was 1 or 2 years sober. Like there's no freaking way I would have been able to handle the amount of stuff I deal with today then.
Dude, back to the instant gratification. When I got out of rehab, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to be at this level in no time. And then I'm going to be at that level. And that was wrong. That was wrong. Nobody wanted to hire me. Literally nobody at all. Checkers didn't want to hire me. But what's funny is all that time that I was looking for a job, I never went without a meal. Like I wasn't homeless at that time. I've been homeless, but at that time I wasn't. And I look at my life today in this job and my last job. I could not have handled this. I couldn't have handled the stress level. I couldn't have handled the life I have today at 1 year. There was no chance. And that's one of those times where I look back and go, that was God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. Because if I had gotten my way, I would have gotten a job the day that I got out and tried to work my way up and done all this stuff. And I would have missed out on that time where I was building that foundation because I had nothing else to do but go to meetings and help others, go to probation and look for a job.
Yep.
And that lag that was there, like I built this fellowship around me that when the time came, I got the job and the license and went to work, I was on solid footing to be able to not squander the blessings that were coming my way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to read some comments and I want to address one thing. I thought you were done. Sorry. So we got Efron uncovered. Life on life's terms is rough. Yes, it is.
Gets easier though.
And then we have Nikki says surrendering the outcome is so hard but so necessary.
Absolutely.
Kyle, Mount Rushmore strikes again.
Stop it.
We got Noreda. Hey guys. Just wanted to thank you for the great contribution you make with those wise words. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this is what I wanted to address real quick. JP, the hope shot. Let the page take off without asking for stars because it feels like the only in for what you can earn out of it.
Ooh.
So, Nate, please.
Ooh.
Nate, go ahead.
Just so you know, every dollar that comes in, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. Every dollar that comes into this organization goes right back out in helping others. We just this week we're able to house 2 people in sober living that were about to get kicked out and had nowhere to go so they can continue their recovery journey. Every penny cent that comes in here does not go to us. It goes right back to you, right back to our community, and furthers our mission and our reach so we can reach more people, help more people, and be in a position to, give people an opportunity to recover when they might not have it otherwise.
Hey, and listen to that statement. 2 people. If you want to know what kind of money is coming into this page, we ain't making enough but to put a couple people into another week or another month of sober living. Like we don't have much coming in, but what does come in goes right back out. Everybody that's on this screen, we work this and we all have another job. Like it's
Hey, you know how much work goes into this? You know what I mean? But I'll tell you this, stars, it's not, it's a dollar for every 100. So
yeah,
but anyways, and we don't listen. I'll tell this is what it is. If you guys want to, cool. If you don't, cool. You know what I mean? It's like if you want to, it says if you love the page, and if you don't, it's not a big deal. You're still going to come on
or
here.
If you love the page and you're new in recovery and you don't have much money, please don't send us stars. Like don't spend your money on us.
No,
but if you're balling and you like the show, then do.
Yep. Whatever. So I appreciate you being here, man. No matter what. I know that there's a lot out there that ruin it, and I just want to say I just had to address it because we're not them. So we got Debbie says, Justin and Caesar, my strife and anger comes from management. People who have power, they get mad but don't train or cross-trained. How would you talk to management? I have selections to move forward, not to be stuck or held back. So I always say that if you don't speak, nobody's going to hear you. A closed mouth don't get fed. So, but it's always about how you say it. Communication and how you say things are always key to anything. But if you never talk to them or see, they might even listen and actually move forward, because sometimes they don't know, that they're doing certain things, and maybe they need a little, but it's just how you present it. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Yeah, I like what she said, though. I mean, if you've got somebody that's in power telling you what to do, but they haven't trained you or trained the other people around them, then that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
In my position, I'm fortunate that the HR lady that Justin was talking about, I brought her in, and if I don't know something and I can't lead anybody in a certain direction because I'm not familiar with that field, I bring somebody in to teach all of us how to do that. I am very willing to say, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how to address that, but I'll find somebody who can help us with that. And, in my position, my doors to my office, literally, not figuratively, literally are always open. And every single person in my company at one point in the day walks into my office and asks me a question and talks to me. Because that's the only way I can get better, is if people tell me what's going on, from the lowest guy on the totem pole to my office management. Like, they have to be able to feel comfortable walking in and saying, hey, man, this isn't working. Like, what can we do over here? And I got to listen with an open mind, because the company I work for, it's been around long before I got there. So I might be dealing with some kind of policy or procedure that's been there like a dinosaur since before I got there. And then I have to advocate for those people and say, hey, this doesn't work for us. How can we change it?
And if they're not willing to, then got to move on then.
And then I tell everybody, hey, man, I tried to fight for you guys, but we're stuck with this.
Let's see. We got, Helen has our back, by the way.
You ain't got to tell me.
No. James, success for me is peace within, a sound mind, and a healthy heart, body, and life. Everything else is a bonus.
Yeah.
And Nikki says, yes, so much beauty in the journey. Exactly.
Yes, here it is. And
then Helen says, so true, Justin. My sponsor taught me, say what you mean and mean what you say, and don't say it mean. That's it. I like that. Yeah. That's it. Because it's all about how you say it. I think the one thing that humans, we forgot how to communicate, or we never learned in the first place. We need to learn how to communicate and express how we feel in a healthy way. And I think that's the biggest thing, because, like, dude, I hear it all the time. Communication is what we're lacking. And that's how a lot of relationships a lot of missed opportunities too. We lose because our communication is lacking, or we don't know how to express ourselves, or we are perfectionists, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
Good stuff.
Good to go. All right.
And we filled the hour.
I hope it was perfect.
Yes. All right. All right, guys. You know, that's something to do this week, man. Don't practice perfection, but give yourself a fucking break. You know, give yourself a break. Show yourself some grace, and you know, and forgive yourself, man, when you mess up. And it's okay. We're human. We didn't get perfect. We got in recovery. Ain't no perfect about that. You know, it's a, what do they say? It's a perfect program for imperfect people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for being here. We love you all, man. And I hope you guys have a great week. See ya.